We are covering all bases on the Mets. Terry Collins' club was able to avoid the sweep at the hands of the Tigers by winning 3-1 yesterday, but there was plenty of criticism of the Mets manager over the weekend, including not challenging the final play at the plate on Saturday night, which is, to me, more about appearances because Jay Bruce was out. But admitting that you didn't think of challenging is a bad look for Terry Collins. Now, not pinch running Brandon Nimmo for Bruce is a fair criticism, as is the way Terry's handled the bullpen lately. Look, it's easy for the Terry apologists, which I could be accused of being, point to the MASH unit on the DL, which of course we just heard the manager refer to. But that has nothing to do, John, with his in-game managing, which has been shaky lately. He's absolutely right. They're right in the thick of things. They get Cespedes back. The schedule softens up. They can be right back in the mix. But right now, Terry Collins is not having a good August.
Yeah, I mean, you look at all the injuries, which you mentioned before. All teams have to deal with injuries, but the Mets' injuries are a bit absurd. I mean, a player at every position has basically gone down. Meaningful players. Look at this list. I mean, right on top, Wright, Harvey, Duda, Wheeler not back yet, Cespedes being hurt. So Terry definitely has his work cut out for him. But it doesn't excuse some of the in-game stuff that he does. Now, last season, he didn't manage any differently. The team played better. They pitched better. They hit better. Cespedes absolutely carried them. The manager seems to get criticized a heck of a lot more when the team's outside the playoffs looking in. Terry Collins isn't going to be the guy who makes the key strategic move to get your team to win. They're either going to streak and play well, or they're not, and he's going to have to deal with the results. Right now, he's dealing with that. There are other managerial things that I question, like, for example, if one of my players tells me that he wants to play left to center field, my response is, you're going to play center field, and then you deal with it accordingly. Easy for me to say I'm sitting in this chair, but Terry has to deal with that all season long, from Reyes coming up. Where's Flores going to play? What's wrong with Walker? We don't have a catcher. All these things makes it difficult. But at the end of this season, if the Mets are not in the playoffs, what do you think is going to happen to Terry Collins?
I think he could be done. I really do. And here's the thing about Terry Collins' tenure here in New York. When he began, the team was so bad that nobody really judged him. I don't think Met fans loved his in-game managing, but it was never really about wins and losses because he didn't have the roster. And then last year, Cespedes shows up and boom, everyone has the Midas touch. The team just takes off. And even though there were still some shaky things in game, it didn't matter. The team was rocking and rolling until the World Series and, of course, Game 5. That's a whole, you could write a book on Game 5 and the reaction to it. But now this year, he was given a team. And now that he wasn't given a heck of an extension, okay? That was not a mandate by any stretch.
Good point.
So if this team does not make the playoffs, I don't think anyone's going to give him all those injuries as an olive branch. And we just had it up. It not only is it a ridiculous amount of players, no David Wright, no Duda, no Harvey, and for the next little while, no Cespedes. So that could be a crutch, but he's not going to get that crutch in this town because he's the fall guy. Sandy Alderson's not going anywhere.
Look, everybody looks to point their finger somewhere, and right now we all understand about the injuries, but somebody has to be blamed. Alderson, he's made some moves. He's brought in Jay Bruce. He got Jose Reyes. He's done different things to make this team better. I don't think Alderson, look, he's not perfect either, but that's not where the blame's going to go. And it's not going to go on the pitching staff, who's been pretty solid, minus the injuries. People forget this team can do nothing but hit home runs, not knock runners in when they're on base. And if they don't hit homers, or if the pitching staff doesn't limit the other team to 2 runs, they're not going to win games. Is that Terry's fault? Not necessarily. But it's the little things. It's the moves during the game. It's that chess game that he, for whatever reason, doesn't play very well, in my humble opinion. That may cost him his job.
Well, I think they're still in good shape. I think the schedule softens up and they get Cespedes back. But I am with you. If they do not make the playoffs, he is going to be on the ridiculous hot seat and could get fired.